girls, and welcome to this week's episode of the Mixologist. Thanks for joining. This week we're interviewing James Dix, owner of the Caravan Concept down in Cannes in south of France. He's just put together a blog with Onshore Cellars, the yacht provisioners, on the 5 best gins and summer cocktails for this year. So with no further ado, let's go to our interview with James, and then we're going to make the cocktail he's done with our Navy Strength Dreadnought gin, which he's named the Whippet, a take on a greyhound. I'll see you in a bit. Right, guys, I'd love to welcome James Dix to the Mixologist. He's the owner of the Caravan Concept down in Cannes and author of the recent Onshore Cellars blog, Top 5 Gins for Perfect Summer Cocktails. Welcome to the show, James.
Hiya, thanks for having me. Delighted to be part of the blog, and yeah, let's talk cocktails.
Brilliant stuff. So, a step before that, you're an Englishman living in the south of France. How did you end up there?
Met a beautiful French girl in Liverpool. Asked her out. Was really surprised when she said yes. And then moved down here a few years later.
Amazing.
Still surprised she said yes.
In Liverpool?
She was looking for university, so she ended up going to Coventry to do a master's.
Okay.
Not the most interesting place.
No. Do you know what? Speaking of Coventry, I had a job years ago where I worked in Leicester, and they'd often get me there like first thing on a Monday morning. For those viewers around well, Leicester is bang smack in the middle of the UK, kind of next to Coventry. They'd get me up there, I'd have to be there for like an 8 a.m. meeting, leave my house at like 5 a.m. and I'd drive there thinking, I hate my life, this is a horrendous drive. And it was only when I got to Coventry, I used to see a guy on the main roundabout there dressed up as a Domino's pizza box. And I think, do you know what? My life's not that bad because I could be the guy dressed as a pizza on Coventry roundabout. Yeah,
it can always get worse.
Yeah. So what got you into bartending and mixology then?
First moved to France almost 5 years ago now. Big passion for gin and tonic. Obviously, coming from Liverpool, there's a really good bar scene in Liverpool, loads of independents, loads of little distilleries and micro distilleries like popping up because the gin boom was like in full flow at the time. And then I came over here and I was like severely disappointed that you asked for a gin and tonic and it's Gibson's or Gordon's was the standard offering, Gibson's being the bottom shelf paint stripper. Yeah. And that was normally served with like flat tonic. So we used to joke with the friends in the bars saying, whose round is it? Everyone up for a gin and flat tonic? So like my main drag over here with bar experience in Liverpool was, why is this not being done properly? Like it's a global phenomenon at the time with everyone producing gin and serving it properly, the glassware, the juniper berries, the good garnish, the good tonic, except France, where it was just nothing. So that's when I set up my first little events bar over here, doing the pop-up gin bar using some of the best gins from all over the world. And then from that evolved into the Caravan, which is a full mobile wedding bar.
Yeah. I think I can honestly say I've never paid so much for the worst gin and tonic in my life as you would in like Cannes and Antibes and even like down into Monaco and stuff. It's horrific.
Yeah.
But you mentioned the Caravan. So for those that haven't heard of the Caravan Concept, what is it and how did it come about?
So my first little bar was just a small copper pallet bar that used to fold into the back of the car. And that was getting quite successful, doing a few small birthday parties and things like that. But it was a small portable bar. So it couldn't really cope with the bigger events. So the mobile bar industry kind of was starting to pique my interest at this point. And I said, maybe I can get an old Caravan, renovate that. That would look quite good. And then we found one on Facebook Marketplace for €500. I completely gutted it, remodeled it, big serving hatches, oak worktops, 2 triple fridges, big massive copper sink, bottle rack, everything. Taking elements from the first bar and then adapting them into the Caravan. And now we rock up to weddings and private parties. Everything's in the fridge already. No stress for the clients. I just rock up, and about half an hour later, I'm serving the drinks for them.
Yeah, I mean, it looks. I've seen it in action down in Port Vabana. I think was the last time I saw it working, which was fantastic. You shake up cocktails in it.
I think that was the first event I did with it.
Was it? Okay,
yeah.
Nice. So, had you ever converted anything before, or was it your first conversion?
My background in England was construction, so I've done loads of building work before, but it's the first time I've designed and done everything myself.
Yeah.
I've just finished doing our apartment in Cannes.
Oh, nice. And how long did it take from buying the caravan as it was to the final product?
Well, because it was me who was designing everything, it was quite a slow process. So I think it was about 6 to 8 months. And then obviously a big push right at the end, trying to get like the painting finished and the varnish done. And there was a little issue with the carpenter. He didn't have to pay for anything. He just had to tell me what to buy.
Yeah.
And he gave me the recommendation for the worst varnish ever. And 6 weeks after I varnished it, I had to spend 3 days sanding the whole thing down again and redo it. It had rained once, and the varnish was already ruined, and all the surfaces were done. So luckily, since then, it's been done with professional grade boat varnish. And, it's untouchable now.
Yeah, we use yacht varnish or anything. We've got, there'll be a lot of people watching the show. Obviously, it's a yachting-based show. There'll be a lot of people screaming, saying, "Yeah, you should have gone for that to begin with."
But if, I'm not from yachting, so I don't know this, but you kind of expect the carpenter to be able to tell you, don't use that, it's rubbish. But obviously, not in my case.
Yeah. So, how can people find and follow you for the Caravan Concept?
So I've got an Instagram, the Caravan Concept, and you'll see a few pictures on there. And I've got a website, and on the website there's a full contact form, so you can fill that in, leave me your phone number, details of your event, like a few ideas you've got for drinks, and then I can contact and communicate with you. Or you can just give me a call. You can find my mobile number on the website.
Okay.
It's a lot easier for me to get a feel of what you, the client, wants with a quick phone call than sending 10 emails to each other, and emails are hard work compared to a quick chat on the phone.
Yeah, and there's no tone to them, so you can't get the vibe of the client written on an email.
Exactly.
Which is difficult, isn't it? And for those that might have missed it, you're based down in Cannes, and how far do you go?
I will travel wherever is necessary, but obviously if it's a long distance and a 6-hour drive with the caravan, I have to charge accordingly for that. I've got one wedding inquiring for 2022 now, and they are going to be a 4.5-hour drive away.
Okay.
So luckily that's quite near a family friend's house, so I can arrange the accommodation for the staff, and we can go down the day before. That will be quite a chill vibe compared to normal, because we'll have a day before to rest, and then it's a wedding day and hangover barbecue the following day.
Okay, so, keep you busy.
They're taking a full package for the caravan, and because we've got the accommodation there, local, it's very easy for us to get set up and not have to stress too much. I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah. So if we move on to the blog you've just written, 5 top gins for perfect summer cocktails in association with Onshore Cellars, the yacht provisioners down in Antibes. You've kindly used our HMS Spirits Navy Strength Dreadnought gin in the blog. Talk us through the cocktail you've done.
So obviously the Navy Strength is a big, powerful gin. I had some of the girls tasting it last night. And after their initial kick, they were all commenting on the lavender kind of scents and the feeling they were getting down the throat. But traditionally, these stronger gins need a strong back in a cocktail. So I took a Greyhound, which is traditionally a vodka drink, and remodified that into a gin drink and given it a little French twist and called it the Whippet, which is the French version of the Greyhound. So we took the recipe of 40 mils Dreadnought Gin, 20 mils Saint Germain Elderflower tonic liqueur, which is a fantastic building block in all cocktails, and then fresh grapefruit juice, about 100 mil.
Yeah, I've got some to squeeze.
Yeah, stick all of that into the shaker, nice hard shake over ice, and then we double strain that into our Collins glass, 4 ice cubes, and just a dash of orange bitters on the top.
Okay, so we got your orange bitters ready as well.
That's it.
So once we're done, and I mentioned to you before we went live, but I am a slight bit delicate today, having left the pub at 1 a.m. I will film the cocktail this afternoon and see what it tastes like. So I've got everything ready.
Cure. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's
exactly
the cure.
that.
That's what I'm talking about for the hangover barbecue. It's all about the cocktails like that.
And so, what were the other gins you used in the blog too?
So I used 2 local gins. Being based in Cannes, we've got one in Grasse called 44 Degrees North. Yep. And then there's another gin I've been working quite closely with out in the Var called QVT. They've done fantastic stuff last year. They won 4 gold medals, I think, internationally on their first and second years, which is pretty good for a new company. And they're producing a vodka now as well, which I'm quite looking forward to sampling. Yeah. And then obviously I used yours because I wanted something stronger. So that came perfectly. 57.5% is cracking. And then the other one was Eden Mill Oak Gin. So I used that for a French 75 with a honey base. So the woody elements from that kind of tie quite nicely in with the honey. Yeah. And then standard Tanqueray 10 as a base gin is like my go-to base for all cocktails when I'm experimenting.
And we're going to put all the links below, but just give a shout out. So the link is on the Onshore Cellars website.
Yeah.
They're at Onshore Cellars on social media, I think.
They've got Instagram, Facebook, everything.
Yeah, and then all the photography. There's some beautiful photography there, all done by Paul Oatway. Again, another local guy down in the Cannes area that we both know.
Yeah, exactly. He's done a fantastic job. It's quite hard when you've not been to a location before, and the location this time being the warehouse. Yeah. Warehouse doesn't normally inspire the term beautiful. So he's done an absolutely fantastic job with what we had available, like my bar equipment, my setup, the backdrop, the bottles, and there's a bit of skill to that, obviously. Yeah.
So what's your summer looking like? Obviously COVID is still hanging about at the moment. It's not gone. I think the UK is probably a bit further ahead in terms of vaccinations than France. So we're lifting near most of the restrictions in about 3 weeks' time. So how's it looking for you down there?
So the general tone of things for this year is people are still unsure. So all the inquiries I'm starting to get now are for 2022. We've had a little bit of good news that one of the local villages we worked with in the past is going to do the outdoor cinema this year. Okay. So that'll be fantastic. It's great fun. I think last year we did Dirty Dancing, and as you can imagine, Prosecco cocktails, all the women dancing at the end of the film when the music came on. So little events like this will start to go ahead again. But for the congresses and the weddings, most things are on pause until next year. Just until everyone can confirm, we're in the clear, nothing to worry about. Because some of my clients have rearranged their wedding 3 or 4 times now. Yeah, it's crazy, isn't it? It's too much work to keep doing it. So the general consensus is we'll put it back a much longer amount of time, and we'll play it safe. Yeah, it's the best thing to do under the current circumstances, isn't it? Well, I'm down in a few weeks, and hopefully we're going to grab a beer. Oh, for sure.
And have a catch up. We might could even do one of these live for people, perhaps down there. That might be something a bit different. We can get you back on if you're up for it.
We could do a live one. I've got a fantastic little garden bar set up as well.
All right. Well, then we'll talk about that. We'll talk about that off air. But James, absolute pleasure to everyone. Thanks
Nope.
for including us in the blog. Like I say, Caravan Concept. Give it a look, everybody. Onshore Cellars and Paul Oatway Photography. I'll catch up with you soon, mate.
Thank you very much. I'll see you soon,
Take
Ben.
care. Bye.
Stay safe. Bye.
Andrew. Well, thanks for joining us, James. I hope everyone's going to give his Instagram and Facebook a follow, the Caravan Concept. It's absolutely beautiful. Like I say, I've seen it quite a few times down in the south of France. But with no further ado, let's get on to the cocktail that he's made. The Whippet, a take on a classic Greyhound cocktail using our Navy strength gin. I bought this shaker. They're not great for kind of commercial service, but they're perfect for showing you guys on video what's going into a drink. So we're following his instructions, and it was 40 mils of our Dreadnought gin. Here it goes. We've got 20 mils of Saint-Germain, a French elderflower liqueur, which is surprisingly hard to get hold of in France. I think it does incredibly well in the UK and US export markets. Stunning bottle as well, very vintagey. We've got 100 ml of freshly squeezed grapefruit juice. In it goes. And a couple of dashes of orange bitters. I'm using Angostura. There's loads of bitters on the market, so whichever your favourite is, liven that up. Plenty of ice in the shaker. Lid on, and let's give it a good shake. And then we double strain into our rather large Collins glass. Not that one, I prefer this Hawthorne strainer. Perfect, and we're going to garnish that. So it says fresh grapefruit, I don't have any, but I use these beautiful infusions by a company called Nims in the UK. We stock them on our website. Dried, they smell delicious, they look beautiful on the top of the drink. And there's my take on James's The Whippet with our Dreadnought gin. Let's have a sip. Oh, James, that's beautiful, citrusy, clean, perfect summer drinking for me. Right. We'll see you next week. I'm not sure where I'm going to be, who we're going to see or speak to, but I'll sort the show out at the weekend and I shall catch up with you in a week's time. Take care, stay safe, see you soon.